It's cold outside, so let's make something warm. We're gonna make a beef cabbage soup. It is a keto and low carb recipe, so let's get to it. We're gonna start with about a pound of ground beef, and we are going to get this browned. All right, once your burger's done, take it out. If there's not enough grease left over, you need about 2 to 3 tablespoons in your stock pot, maybe a little more. I'm gonna pour a little olive oil, and then you're going to add an onion, a carrot, a green pepper, and celery. And make sure it gets in the pot, not all over your stove. The goal is in the pot, not the stove. And I cut up the celery tops too in mine. And then we're just gonna saute this till everything's kind of nice and tender. And if you haven't got you one of these Mueller stock pots yet, grab one. This is the 4.5 quart. I also have a 6 quart. I'll link it below. But these are awesome, guys. These are great for soup, candy, whatever you want to use them for. So check them out. All right, so once your vegetables are tender, use your garlic press. And you can put in 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. And we're going to cook that for about another minute, just to let those flavors, that garlic flavor, infuse into everything. Once that's cooked for about a minute, we're going to go ahead and add our beef back in. We're going to add 32 ounces of broth. I think I'm going to add my spices before that, though. So in this, I've got, you can use spicy mustard. I'm using a Dijon. I've got a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a teaspoon of thyme. So we're going to mix all that in. And then we've got 32 ounces of beef broth. Now you can use the canned stuff from the store. I usually have my own canned beef broth, but I am literally out. So I also have powdered. It's this, and then I just mix my own. So this is 32 ounces of beef broth. And you want to make sure, if you're using powdered, make sure everything's whisked together very good. And we're going to pour it in and try not to make a mess. Okay, there's that. The other thing you're going to add is 28 ounces of fire roasted tomatoes. Now, I don't have any fire roasted tomatoes, but I had some tomato pulp I needed to use in my freezer. So I defrosted part of it. We're going to use that. I'm just throwing the whole Ziploc bag in because I need to get it used up, and so it doesn't go bad. So I'm going to let this simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Pop the lid on it. Once you've let it simmer, then you can put your cabbage in, 1 small head of cabbage. And then we're just going to cook this for maybe about 15 minutes, just till it's done. And with the tomato pulp, it is going to make this a little bit thicker. If you just used a can of either fire roasted tomatoes or even diced tomatoes, it'll be a little more liquidy. But this will cook down, and once again, make sure you get it in the pot, not on your stove, because that is not where it goes. And then we're just going to put the lid back on this and let all this cabbage cook down. Make sure you cut your core out of your cabbage. That way you don't have it in there. And then that's about it. We're going to let it cook for about another 15 minutes.